Mitch Lund, and welcome to another episode of Indy Labs, where we put the science in your hands. It's winter here in Michigan, and that means a few things. There's a chance for snow days, lots of shoveling, and if one of my pugs comes over to say hi, I'm probably getting zapped. In winter, there's less humidity, the air is a lot more dry, and that makes it way easier to build up an electric charge. Perhaps you've done this before, walking around on the carpet, rubbing your feet the whole way, acting like a little Raiden, zapping nearby doorknobs or your dad's ear while he's snoozing on the lazy boy. Sorry, Dad. I did that a lot as a kid. Well, when the air is dry like this, static electricity experiments go really well. So today, we're going to make a very simple yet effective electroscope. That's something that can measure how much electric charge an object has. And they can be really easy to make. And also, it's a really great tool for helping us learn the different ways that something can become charged. Here's what you'll need. Get yourself a plastic jar that also has a plastic lid. You need some type of metal wire, and if you don't have any copper wire laying around at home, a wire coat hanger can work just fine. And since we're going to be bending and cutting this wire, you're going to want some type of pliers that also has wire cutter capabilities. You want a sheet of aluminum foil, and then a key ingredient to all of this. You need a very thin material that is also conductive. Some would have you do it with aluminum foil, mylar sheets, and those are certainly options. But really all you need is a note card and a pencil. So let's not overcomplicate things. You can keep it this simple, and it's very effective. Alright, for starters, you're going to need a length of wire that's relatively straight. So if you're using a coat hanger, cut out that bottom portion. Depending upon how old you are, maybe you should get an adult to help you. Success. Next up, you need a hole right there in the center. Kind of nice on these jars, it's marked for you. And while some people will use a nail to hammer through that, you do risk cracking the lid, so I prefer to use a little heat treatment. And again, make sure you've got parental supervision for this part. But just a little bit of heat on your wire, and you'll be able to poke right through that hole pretty easily. There we go. I also like using that method because then it ensures that the hole is exactly the size that you need it to be. Using your pliers, you're going to give one end of your wire a bit of a hook. There we go. Did you do it right? Well, is it something that you can easily hang a paperclip from? If so, you're good. So why the paperclip in the first place? Well, we're going to actually hang things off of the paperclip, and then this gives us an easy on and off. Now you want to set it at a good level so that way not only is there room for the paperclip to hang, but also there's room for something to hang from the paperclip. That's where what's called our leaves are going to go. So give the bottom of the paperclip to the bottom of the jar a good 3 inches. Now wherever that level is, right at the top of the jar, you're going to want to bend a right angle there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just enough so that way the wire won't slide through the hole. Then, make another right angle. Next, we're going to cut off a little bit of the excess wire here. And something optional to do to keep it from wobbling around, rotating, you can tape it down into place. Take the aluminum foil and ball it up, and then place it on your wire. There you go. Color in a pretty good rectangle on your note card. Graphite is actually a great conductor. Then, cut out your rectangle. Now fold it in half. And now, cut out from this a teardrop shape. Don't make the top of the teardrop too narrow though. Using a thumbtack, poke a hole up near the top, not too close to the edge. Wiggle it around a little bit too to make the hole a little bit larger. Now, if you have two identical teardrop shapes, cut them apart, right along the fold. Now you're going to bend out the bar of the paperclip just a little bit so you can slide those on there easily. Slide them on so the two graphite sides are facing each other. Wiggle the paperclip a little bit more, making sure that the holes are large enough so that the two leaves have plenty of freedom of motion. And now you can just hang the paperclip from the hook. Now some people do this without the paperclip, they would just hang the leaves right on this hook, but having a paperclip means that I can make other leaves and easily swap them out. If I want to test out different leaf shapes and different amounts of graphite, then I can. It easily allows you to change up the variables. So you need an object that can hold on to a charge. Those are called insulators. And as many of you know, I love PVC for this. So get yourself a PVC pipe, but you could also use something like a balloon or try out some other plastic rubber materials. They are usually very great insulators. And then you need some electrons. That's what the stocking cap is for. One way to charge up an object is through friction. So we're going to apply some friction to our PVC pipe with some of the electrons that are now on this stocking cap that came from my hair. Now our PVC pipe is negatively charged. If we bring it near the aluminum, check out what happens. The leaves are repelling from each other. The closer we bring the charged object, the more they repel. So what's going on here? Well, as we said, one way to charge up an object is through friction. That's what we did to charge up the PVC pipe. But another way an object can be charged is through induction. That's what we're doing here. Induction occurs when you have something that's very conductive, like our aluminum wire leaf setup, and you bring another object that's charged close by to it. Because our PVC pipe has a negative charge, well then that's going to repel the electrons that are in the very conductive materials. Since those electrons are loose and free to move, they're all going to move away from our PVC pipe. When they get down near the bottom though, they wind up in two different places that are free to move, the two leaves. And since they're both negatively charged, well then they spread apart from each other. When conductive materials are induced with a charge this way, one area of them winds up a little bit negative and the other area then winds up a little bit positive. This means it's polarized. So now that you got an electroscope, here's what I think you should do. Try out different leaves. See what happens when you change the size, the shape. Get creative. Does having more or less graphite affect anything? If you want even more fun with static electricity, check out some of the links in the description below. We've got some other Indy Labs that deal with the same topic, including Indy Labs number 5, where you get to learn how to statically levitate something. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more science coming your way, and that thumbs up like is always appreciated. I'm Rich Lund, and I'll see you next time.
Wanna make some paper? Gotta make up paper. Communicate ideas, gotta get published, get your paper out there. What it takes to be a scientist, it ain't easy, no denying it. Gotta put in work however you define it. The discovery's out there, gotta go find it.